karibu sana. Thank you for tuning in. Leure, I have a question. Niko na kiulizo. Have you ever read through the Bible? As in from cover to cover, the whole thing. Can you imagine reading through the Bible nonstop? As in, you start reading it and you don't put it down until you finish all the way to the end, yeah? Sounds like quite a task. Well, something amazing is happening. Forum of Bible Agencies, Kenya, have an upcoming event called Bible Reading Marathon 2021. This is going to be happening from the 23rd to the 28th of November 2021. Now, the launch of the event and the closing of the event will be in person, but the in-between reading through the Bible will be done online. Now, Bible Reading Marathon, otherwise known as BRM, is something that happens annually where people are invited to read the Bible non-stop, day and night. You read it in turns, from cover to cover. You know, a reader preferably reads about a chapter at one time in his or her preferred language. And so it's like what you would call a relay race. You do your portion, you give it to another. They do their portion, they give it to another, non-stop. And this event usually happens in this month of November, coinciding with and as an event that celebrates the International Bible Week. This is inspired by God's move upon Ezra's historic day-by-day reading. You can check that out in Nehemiah chapter 8 and Nehemiah chapter 9. Now, you can register as Bible reader and register others also to win gifts and cash prizes of up to 2,000 bob. For more information about this marathon, you need to call this number 0722 44 0859 or 0723 645108. I'll give you the numbers again. Kindly call 0722 44 0859 or 0723 645109. Remember, it's the Bible Marathon 2021, courtesy of Forum of Bible Agencies, and it's beginning on the 23rd all the way to the 28th of November 2021. You don't want to miss out on this. Be a part of it. Aya, clinic inafunguliwa, financial clinic. The doctors are in the house. They are ready to sort out our pockets. Kama pocket yako iko na fever, kama mfuko iko na temperature, ama iko na infection, my friend will sort you out today. We are going to be talking about how to develop a wealth mindset. And I've got two amazing guests joining me in studio via Zoom. We have got the founder and CEO of Lean Africa Consultants Limited. This is Johnson Kilangi. Johnson, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Pastor Okumu. How are you doing?
I'm very fine. Karibu sana, good to have you.
Thank you.
I like the painting in the background.
I think we need to appreciate my wife.
Tell her she's doing a good job.
Thank you. I'll do that.
Awesome. We also have personal finance coach at the Square Bracket. This is Brenda Manyara. Brenda, how are you doing?
Hi, James. How are you?
I'm very fine. Karibu sana.
I'm seeing you have a lot of tea back there and you're not inviting us for any.
It's called Gashai.
How un-African of you.
Kupitishia na Wi-Fi, but I'll tell you where you can get this tea. I'll tell you.
Right.
Asanteni sana. Thank you so much, both of you, for being a part of the financial clinic today. You know, Johnson, I keep hearing this statement, you know, that poverty is a mindset. And I'm thinking, what do you mean poverty is a mindset? Kama hauna kakitu, hauna kakitu. What has mindset got to do with that? So maybe we can begin there, because it seems like this mindset thing is a big thing.
Yeah, thanks, Pastor Okumu. I thought you'll start with a lady, but anyway, I'll begin. I think to some extent that I agree with that statement that poverty is a mindset. Because if you look at people or individuals who are born, you know, in environments that are enshrined in poverty, chances are very high that those people will still lead the same lives.
Okay.
You know, there are little chances that they'll be able to turn around and be able to think from a different perspective, from a wealthy mindset perspective. And it boils down to what is the environment around these people? You know, are they what influences their daily lives? So as they grow, do they get profiles that are able to entice them to think otherwise? That look, there's a different life that you can be able to lead apart from the normal life that you're living. And I think to that extent, it's purely a mindset thing. And I think it takes time for people to step out of that, silo, so that you can start thinking of pursuing better things in life.
I'm just wondering, based on what you're saying, Brenda, based on what has just been said, so how does this mindset develop? Because I've also seen people who live in poverty, and it becomes their life goal to get out of that poverty, and they get out and they do well. Others say, what will be, this is my portion in life, and they continue living that way. So I'm just wondering, what determines whether one has a poverty mindset or whether one has a wealthy mindset?
Okay, good. I like what Johnson has said, that how you've grown up does affect your mindset. The mindset is formed by things that have happened in your life before, or the things you see now. It makes you believe things like wealth is for other people, not for me, or I will not be able to achieve wealth because of my age or my income. But as we're saying, it's just a mindset. And yes, there are those people who have had hard lives but are still able to get themselves out of it because they embrace a wealth mindset. And a wealth mindset is just now a set of, I would say, behaviors and attitudes that you have that is similar to what wealthy people have. Like, wealthy people think different from the rest of everyone else. And that is what we are going to try and get into, like, how do you develop that?
I'm just, somebody would say, wealthy people think differently from everybody else because they have the wealth.
But did they always have the wealth? Yeah.
Maybe before they had it, they were thinking the way the rest of us are thinking.
We like to think like wealthy people just woke up wealthy one day. Yeah. But there are a lot of things that they do to get to that place. And that is actually now what we're talking about, the behaviors that get you to be wealthy. And how to develop our mindset for being able to constantly do those behaviors to get you wealthy.
Okay. Johnson, how important is someone's mindset? Because I realize that many times we focus on external factors. And here we're talking about a mindset, but we focus on things and what's around us and people. So how important is one's mindset?
First of all, I think everybody has been born with something in them. There's something unique that anybody can do.
Yeah. So
it boils down to, can we identify that unique skill, that unique unique factor in us that can be able to help us to move? So if you can be able to establish that at an early age, then you start building that mindset. And I think it's very important for us to distinguish those that were born in wealthy families and those that were not born in wealthy families. I think that is important because it has a bearing on the mindset of these people. But I think the mindset is the biggest driver of what we want to achieve in life. So for me, for example, I know what I want to achieve in the near future, in the short term, mid-term, and long term. And it's a work in progress because I know my mindset is that this is what I want to achieve after a specific period of time. And that is what drives you. If you don't have that, then I think you've lost it.
Is wealth money? Because we are talking about a wealthy mindset. Is wealth money? Johnson?
Maybe Brenda can take that.
Yeah, Brenda, twende kazi.
I even wanted to go back to something Johnson has said, though, because do you know not all wealthy people have he said if you're born from a wealthy family, it's different from if you're born from a poor family. You can be born from a wealthy family and still have a scarcity mindset.
Okay.
And that's how you see people's wealth just deteriorating once the next generation takes over. Because then they were not built with the mindset of what is required of me to continue this wealth. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you a difficult question, James.
Ask me.
It's a saying I like. It goes, tell me what you did today and I'll tell you who you are. So since it's in the morning, I'll say, tell me what you did yesterday and I'll tell you what you are. Because we are actually a sum total of everything we do the whole day. So if you woke up and just watched TV the whole day, it's very unlikely that wealth will find you there. Yeah. So the mindset thing comes from, okay, fine. I know for a wealthy person, they need to be determined, they need to be looking for opportunities. Am I out there doing that? So you have to switch your mind from, I don't feel like doing this, to, well, what would they do? What would I do if I wanted to be better?
Okay. So back to the question I was asking, is wealth just money, or is there more to wealth than money?
Oh, no, yeah. Wealth is not money at all. Okay, it is, of course. Money makes things easier for you.
Mm-hmm.
But as most people would say, the greatest wealth is health, right?
Mm-hmm.
But wealth is a lot of things. It's just basically being comfortable. You want to be comfortable. That should be the aim of things, not to have the most money. Yeah. So to me, I do not think it's a healthy way to look at wealth as just acquiring more money.
Yeah.
Because money in itself is meaningless.
And I think that's important, because if we are talking about how to develop a wealth mindset, then if we don't really understand what wealth is, we can go astray. Because I find that in this generation, we are so focused on getting more and more and more and more. So at what point am I wealthy? At what point do I say, Niko sawa? Because it seems like we keep chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing, and we don't even get the time to enjoy what we already have. Hence the question, is wealth only money? If I am of good health, I can pay my bills, I'm not in debt. Johnson, would you consider me to be a wealthy person? Ama lazima nikuwe na kamillion mahali fulani na kabillion mahali fulani?
I think we need to go back, to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
And everybody is at a different stage in this hierarchy. So my self-actualization, for example, will be to have this hefty paycheck. But maybe somebody else, for me, being very healthy, is my self-actualization. Or to own a business that generates cash flow streams is my self-actualization. So it boils down to, what do we want to achieve? As I said before, the wealthy is a journey. You take time for you to build that wealth.
Yes.
So if you know what you want to achieve ultimately as your end game, then it becomes easy, because you know where you are. You know where, you can be able to track your progress towards your ultimate goal. And I think that is how I look at it in terms of wealth.
Okay. Anything to add to that, Brenda?
Yes, actually, that's one of the key things in developing a wealth mindset, is that you have to have goals. And your goal cannot be money. It is like, what do you want the money for? It is what he's saying, self-actualization. What is self-actualization to you? Is it to own a home? You have to have actual goals. Otherwise, the continuous chase for money will never make you happy. Yeah.
Okay.
So having a vision is a great way to start developing a wealth mindset. It's also easier to save and invest when you know what you're doing it for. But if you just say I'm saving, it's unlikely that you'll actually save. Yeah, you'll always find something to do with that money if you have no goals. Yeah.
So let's contrast a bit here before we get into then how do I develop a wealthy mindset? What would you say are some differences between somebody who has a poverty mindset and somebody who has a wealth mindset, and how does that manifest in the way they live their life? I know, Brenda, you had talked about watching TV the whole day, and talk to me, Johnson. What would you say are some contrasting realities that we can see in these two different mindsets?
I think those that have a poverty mindset, of course, will think some aspects of activities are reserved, for the wealthy in the society, which is something I don't agree with. Just to give you an example, we were having a discussion over the weekend, and somebody told me, whatever you're doing currently should be something that you should be doing when you achieve your self-actualization, when you're retiring, when you're in your 50s. And I told them, why? This is what I think we should be doing now, if at all we want to change, how we live, and that is part of the journey, in creating wealth. So I think you can quickly tell this is somebody who wants to live an average life, but somebody who wants to change things, change the world, will definitely pick, ambitious goals that they want to achieve. Because they'll set very high targets for them, and they'll work continuously towards achieving them. But somebody, with a poverty mindset, an average mindset, will be comfortable where they are.
Okay.
And I think their life will just revolve around, that lifestyle. They, as long as they're able to put some meal on their table, and that's okay. Or if they're able to get a paycheck at the end of the month, for them, that's okay. But this other club, of course, will want to achieve more. They'll want to do unique things that will have an impact on their lives, on the world. And I think that is where the difference comes.
Okay. Anything to add to that, Brenda?
Yeah, and similar to that is people with a poverty mindset tend to blame, you play victim, yeah? You blame your circumstances.
Tunaomba serikali.
Tunaomba serikali. You're always like, it would never happen to me. Me, I have so many problems. That is why I am where I am. Yet somebody with a wealth mindset sees problems as opportunities. Like, I'm sure you know somebody who, when you're complaining about, you're telling them, kwetu, we've not had electricity the whole week, the whole estate usiku inazimika, inarudi asubuhi, and they tell you, really, the whole week there's been no electricity? And you're like, yes. And they're like, if it were me, I would already have been selling solar bulbs in that estate. Yeah, that is somebody who is seeing an opportunity and where you are seeing only challenges.
Yeah.
Because by complaining about it, you're not really moving forward at all. Yeah. So instead of playing victim, you should be able to see, are there opportunities here that I am missing in these challenges that I am facing?
So Brenda, are you saying my mindset determines what I see and what I don't see?
Exactly. In fact, that is exactly what a mindset is. It frames your thinking. It frames how you see things. And the second you can shift that away, you'll be able to see things in a different way. It's like, yeah, I'm having a problem, but everyone has problems. Is there any way that I can get a benefit from this? Or what am I learning from this particular challenge? Because challenges are also learning opportunities.
Okay. Is there a way, Johnson, somebody can identify whether they have a wealth mindset or a poverty mindset? Maybe sijui ni kwapi.
Actually, if I speak to you,
yeah,
I'll be able to pick that out very clearly. Because the content that you bring out, of course, tells a lot about your mindset.
Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions for us today, 20316 is the SMS line and the WhatsApp number is 0786 316 316. We are talking about how to develop a wealthy mindset. For tuning in, have you had your cup of Eden tea? Gashai, the finest garden tea. If you haven't, my friend, you need to get some Eden tea for yourself today. By the way, have you ever tried Eden purple tea? Do you know there's purple tea? I know you're used to green tea. There's Eden green tea, but there's also Eden purple tea. Now, Eden purple tea, siya kuweka maziwa, usiyeke maziwa. This one is, you take it the way it is without adding milk. Purple tea, my friend. It is the tea for royalty. Unajua purple inakuwaga color ya royalty. So, I want to encourage you today and challenge you, try some Eden purple tea because it contains some minerals to boost your immunity. Unajua hii season tuko tumekuwa tukiambiwa mambo ya kuboost immunity, and so make your way to the supermarket because Eden tea is available at the supermarkets. Look out for Eden purple tea, try it out and give me some feedback. By the way, Eden tea comes in several flavors. There's green, there's purple, there's ginger, there's lemon, and there's Eden premium tea. Local supermarkets are carrying it, affordable prices. Try the finest garden tea and give me some feedback. Today on the Financial Clinic, we are talking about how to develop a wealthy mindset. We are hanging out with the founder and CEO of Lean Africa Consultants Limited. This is Johnson Kilangi, and also personal finance coach at Square Bracket, Brenda Manyara. Your questions are coming through on 20316. SMS is on 0786 316 316. There's a question here from Eunice kutoka Roasters. Brenda, you can take this one. It says, I'm loving the conversation. My question is, I've been working to save to open my cashew shop. But if I save, trouble appears and I use half of it. Is it that my mind I have not set well, or what can I do to focus? Eunice ana save, shida ikitokea anakula nusu.
Eunice, it happens. The fact is, number one, you're saving, which is a big step. And once you've gotten into the habit of doing that, then the problems will stop coming. In the beginning, the problems are so many, because if you don't have a fund, like, let me not get into emergency funds, but if you don't have an emergency fund in place, every time you save kidogo, a problem will definitely appear.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're saving is definitely good. You have the mindset already. And in fact, it's reminded me of James, there's one of your previous guests, I think it's Patrick, has given a challenge to the audience to save 50 bob every day.
Yes.
I love it so much because really the idea around saving and developing a habit is not even about the amount. Even if you say 10 shillings, if you tell yourself to move 10 shillings to an account somewhere every day, you will find that it is very difficult. And that is part of that scarcity mindset that we have where I could use this for something else. But if, again, you needed airtime now, 10 shillings, 50 shillings, you'll definitely buy it. Yeah. So it is that we have different thoughts about what money is good for and what it is used for. When it comes to saving now, we're like, but I have so many other things.
Yeah.
So developing that habit is the first step, which she at least has for sure. So I would think that for her, she has the mindset. It is just the resources that have not yet fungukaed for her yet all the way. But if she just continues, she will get there.
Okay. This other question.
Just to add,
if
it's okay, just to add to what Brenda said. Is it possible for Eunice to start doing something by utilizing the skill she has, so that she doesn't need to put money, so she can run something on the side, just utilizing her skill, and start generating a few coins, every day by just leveraging on her skill. You don't need money to do that. So even if things happen and they take away some of the savings that she has, she's still generating something else from another stream by just using her skill.
Okay, you can take this other one, Johnson. This one says, my friends, my friends call me stingy, but I only use money when I really have to. Do I have a scarcity mindset? Do I have a poverty mindset?
Yeah, I think that guy needs to be, the chairman of the Stingiest Men Association. But I think that is fine. We said you must set out your goals.
Okay.
You need to know what you need to achieve and by when. So if those goals require very stringent discipline, character, then so be it. Guys, I want to be independent after 5 years. I cannot afford buying drinks, left, right, and center now because I'm working towards this goal. And I think we'll discuss later about this. It's all about discipline. If you want to save, if you want to achieve your goals, it boils down to discipline. So I think that's okay. I mean, they'll call you that, but in the next 5 years, you can be taking them out.
Okay. I think we've lost you.
Yeah.
Eunice,
I could add also.
Brenda, you're there? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're back. Okay. So are there steps one can take? Where do I begin if I want to develop a healthy mindset, Brenda?
Pardon? I didn't hear you.
Brenda, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it seems like you can't hear me.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. So Brenda, I'm asking, I want to develop this wealthy mindset. Are there steps I can take? Where do I begin?
There are several steps, and one of the steps, I'll go back even to the question Kilangi was answering about this guy feels like he's stingy, yeah? One step is, who are you spending your time with, yeah?
Okay.
Birds of a feather flock together, yeah? And they say that you are the average of your 5 closest friends. So are your 5 closest friends people who are spending more than you? Do you guys have similar goals? If their goal is just to spend and yours is to save for something, are you really aligned? So one of the things would be you either bring your people up with you or find people who can motivate you to stay focused on your goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
I find that interesting because those are things we hardly think about. We hang out with whoever we've been hanging out with. I mean, I've known these people for half my life. So are you saying I chuja them and I look for new friends?
Oh, now you want to improve them. You're the one to bring them up with you. Tell them, si lazima all the time we're doing this. Can we talk about other things? Can we talk about business? Have you seen any opportunities? Be the one to start that conversation with these people. Yeah.
Okay.
Be the change.
Okay. What else can I do? Johnson.
Can I pick that?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I'll go back to the two silos we talked about, the wealthy and the poor. If you come from a wealthy background, chances are high that you'll be, groomed, to have that mindset since when you're young. But of course, from a poor background, chances are very low that, of course, you'll grow with that, in you.
Yeah.
So if you come from the poor background,
yeah,
a lot needs to be done for you to realize what you need to achieve. First of all, in my opinion, and this is a very personal opinion, there's need for you to understand what you need to achieve. And maybe because of that, you need to start working. You need to get employment so that you can build yourself. You can at least build some savings for you to be able to pursue what you want to pursue in life. Then also the employment, of course, instills some discipline in you, because it's not easy going out there to run your own business if you don't have very strong discipline architecture in you.
Okay.
So that's important. Then after that, you need to associate yourself with the right people. And during COVID, we've been taught that you can talk to whoever around the globe because everybody is sitting behind their laptops and you can easily access them. Tune into conferences, tune into workshops, tune into shows like this, so that you understand where the world is going, so that you start aligning yourself towards building that mindset. I think that is important. So it's actually a journey, as I said, but it boils down to who is around you, what environment surrounds you, and how fast can you understand what you want to achieve in your life.
Okay. When we talk about that person who's grown up in a poor community, so to speak, sometimes even finding that job is an issue. I mean, in this country, we keep talking about lack of employment all over the place. So maybe they've tried to look for something and they can't find something. And even if we're talking about business, the environment they live in is their point of reference. And so if it is a business, it is that small business they see in the community, that is probably what they aspire to. And if it is associating with the right people, the only people they know are the people from their community. And so I'm just wondering, in terms of exposure, does exposure have a part to play in this? And I'm saying this because the first time I got the opportunity to get out of Africa and go to another continent, something in me changed. Because I saw possibilities that I would never have imagined. I had conversations with people and I thought, they're not so different from me. How is it they're able to live this way and I'm not able to live that way? So I'm just wondering, Brenda, does exposure have anything to do with this as well? Because what I've been exposed to all my life is this environment. I don't know any different. How do I change if I don't have a new point of reference?
Yeah, for James, hata umeenda sana, you even left the country for that to happen to you. For most people, it will be even just changing neighborhood can have an impact. So for you, the difference in exposure does make a difference. And it is difficult when you're in a situation where you feel that what is surrounding you is all you know. So the first thing is to first be aware that the thing that is limiting you right now is just the level of your exposure at the moment. Yes. So if you can find a way to expand out of that, then definitely you'll find new opportunities. And this is possible through all sorts of things. The number one thing is to be ready to learn. So reading is one of the greatest ways to expand your thinking and your knowledge of the world. It exposes you to a lot of things. Nowadays, everyone is online. You can get free videos on YouTube. But the thing is, it has to come from you. You have to be aware that there's something that you're lacking that you can get from out there. Yeah. So like watching something like this is a step. Definitely a step, because you're aware that there's knowledge out there that you can reach and is available to you. So that hunger for knowledge has to be there and it has to come from you. You cannot just leave it at this is where I am and this is where I'll always be, because you might learn something that will now move you from where you are to a higher level.
You know, there's a friend of mine, Johnson, who gave me a story, and that's why for me I think exposure has a lot to do with this conversation. And he shared how, you know, he would pass by one of these big hotels in the city, CBD, and he would see all these people who are looking wealthy, tourists eating there, and he kept wondering why. Even me, I want to be there, but he kept thinking, I'm not welcome in this place. And he psyched himself up and he saved some money and he decided one day, I'm going in to buy a cup of tea. For me, I'll go in, sit in their midst, order for a cup of tea and drink it and leave. And he said he saved up, and that day came, he was well dressed. He got to the entrance of the hotel and he panicked. Panic attack on him. He went round the block like 2 times. He never entered the hotel because he kept feeling like somebody would come and drag him out. You're not supposed to be here. A week later, he gathered courage again and he went in and he actually ordered for a cup of tea. And he took the cup of tea and he finished and he paid and he left. And he says, since then, all my meetings, I do them there. Because something shifted in my mind. I realized there are no more people just like me. It's actually possible. But before then, he kept looking at it as something that is way out of reach. Ini awadosi. You know, so just sharing that, because I think how we think sometimes is limited to what we're exposed to. And once we get a new point of reference, then our thinking begins to shift.
Yeah, I think that is true. And the good thing about your friend is that he realized that he needed to be there also. I think that is the first starting point. You need to realize that you can also be able to do what the rest are doing.
Yes.
And that is a strong drive that, of course, will push you towards doing whatever you can do so that you can be able to make a difference in life. But it all boils down to exposure. I like the fact that you pointed that out before. You know, we shape what we do because of what others are doing.
Yeah.
So if we are able to identify the right people to shape us, I think that is important. When you travel outside the continent, it's not that you'll see the buildings and the rest. Of course, the buildings were here in Nairobi. It's just because the other people are doing it differently.
Yeah.
Which made it efficient, which made it attractive to you. And I think that is the point. So coming back to our country, for example, Kenya, it's very unfortunate because there are some communities, some villages that will definitely not be exposed for the next 20, 30 years. And that is the reality. So how do we establish people who can be able at least to help those communities, those families, at least identify their skills, you know, their talent, so that they can also grow out, travel out, and that realize, you know, their dreams in life. I think there is need for us to do work to do, the leadership, you know, the churches, ourselves, like you know, go back to the village, inspire somebody, invest something there, be it a nice hotel, so that even the villagers can realize, look, it's possible for you to do this. Even if you come from this poor village, you can do something that can impact on the lives of the people right there in the village.
Okay. Brenda, how do we deal with some of the narratives we have believed? Like all wealthy people are corrupt. You can't be wealthy until you steal. You know, you can't get rich from employment. There are certain narratives and quotes we keep repeating to ourselves, and especially in this country. You know, when we hear somebody is rich, we begin to say, ndio wale watu watenda. You know, we have this belief that they never got their wealth legally. There has to be a story, because at the back of our minds we have believed it's not possible to be wealthy in this country doing things the right way. How do we deal with those kind of mindsets and beliefs?
Yeah, I find that sort of narrative quite interesting because it is a contradiction in itself. Yeah, we say we believe that all wealthy people are either corrupt or ameiba or something, yet we, on the other hand, say we want to be wealthy. So what are you teaching your brain to believe? Yeah,
Yes.
Are you saying you want to become a thief, or are they no longer thieves? It's a contradiction you create in your mind that makes even wealth inaccessible to you. Yeah, and the narratives are there because the journey to being wealthy is difficult, and it would be easy if there was a reason why. If there was a clear reason why you are not, where you can say, I am not wealthy because of ethical reasons. I am too ethical to be rich. But that is not necessarily true. Not all rich people are corrupt. Not all rich people are thieves. Yeah. So to break away from that cycle, just try and create for yourself people you can look up to, who you know acquire their wealth well. Yeah. And maybe look at what is it that they did to get themselves there. Follow those instead of, don't spend your time focusing on the people who got it the wrong way. That does not affect you in any way. Fine, they got it that way. Do not give it time in your head. Yeah, focus on the people who have made wealth in the right way and try and emulate those people. Yeah.
Okay. A friend of mine once told me, Johnson, that Pastor James, if you want to buy a house, don't talk to people who are renting. Because if you talk to people who are renting, they'll tell you how hard it is to buy a house. If you want to buy a car, don't talk to people who are taking matatus. They are the ones who will tell you, kwanza petroli ilipanda. You think you can afford a car, you know? So you need to talk to the people who are there, who've done it before, and they'll be able to guide you in the way that you should do it. I'm just wondering, earlier on, Johnson, you talked about goals. And I think goals are very important. But sometimes achieving the goals, you set this goal and this is the picture of where you want to be, but you are here. The in-between is what gives a lot of people issues, and we get lost in the in-between. I don't know if you have anything to tell us concerning how to make that journey.
Of course, if you have a journey, of course, you have to move from point A to point B. And of course, there'll be hiccups along the way. So continuously, and this is what we do, and even when advising our clients, you have to monitor this progress. You know, what were we supposed to have achieved at time X? And what have we really achieved? And what is the variance? And what is causing this variance? And how do we remedy this variance? So if in year 2, we had planned to already establish a business, and of course, year 4, that business was supposed to have broken even, then where are we, you know? So if we realize that there are deviations along that path, then we need to quickly remedy that so that we can chart our way forward. At times, it might be that we had set very ambitious goals which you cannot achieve. So perhaps once in a while we need to scale down so that we have realistic goals that we want to achieve. So it is a journey. We constantly need to evaluate and see where are we along that path.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Brenda, back to you. Any other step you can give us as we journey towards creating this wealth mindset?
I can even give a bit of guidance on the goals. Another thing is, I have also small goals, not only huge, hairy goals. It's good to have the big goals, but you will definitely lose motivation along the way if your goal is to own a property, which then you know we will not achieve within the next 10 years, right? You will lose motivation along the way. So if you have smaller goals along the way, at least you have milestones you're achieving, and you'll believe in yourself more that, oh, I can actually achieve something I put my mind to. So having the smaller goals will help you get to those bigger goals. Yeah. Another thing I would say I would add as to help you develop a healthy mindset is a wealth mindset is monitor your actions versus the outcomes. Yeah. If there's something you keep doing and the outcome is the same, should you continue doing that?
Okay.
Yeah. So if you monitor yourself and you're like, the days that I wake up at this time and do the following things, I am more productive. You should do more of that, what you are doing. And the days I went out and met my friends in the evening, the next day I am sluggish, less productive. You should probably do less of those, right? So monitoring what you're doing versus the outcome you're getting, and then repeating more of the things that have good outcomes.
Okay, I like that, because sometimes
Pastor James, just maybe to add, as we move along this path, you know, towards achieving our goal, there might be opportunities that come along the way. For example, when COVID-19 came, I mean, we didn't know about COVID-19.
Yeah.
And it came with so many opportunities which we had not envisaged, because this is something that had never happened in our lifetime. So continuously also evaluate what opportunities come, you know, as we move towards achieving our target goal.
Okay.
And you'll pack that together and progress towards achieving your your bigger main goal.
Okay. Imagine our time is up for today, and I feel like we've just laid the foundation for this discussion. I'm sure we will get deeper into it, have a part 2 of this, and keep digging deeper, because I believe it's a very important discussion that we need to have. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you're thinking pande hii na unataka kwenda pande hii, it will be impossible. Brenda, what would be your parting shot for today?
My parting shot for today, opportunity dances with those who are already on the dance floor.
Oh.
So think about that.
I like that one. Johnson, parting shot.
For me, I think everybody has something special in them. So we need to work towards understanding what is it that is in us. What is our passion? What can we do, to change the lives of people, to change the world? Because that is what we need to be doing constantly, so that we can always create a better place in this world.
Awesome. Asanteni sana. Thank you so much for being a part of this discussion. Our time is up for the Financial Clinic today. My friend, ask yourself what you have on the inside of you that you can bring out, and also remember, opportunity dances with those who are on the dance floor. I love that. Have yourselves a great day. I'm sure we'll have a part 2 of this discussion as we continue digging deeper on how to create a wealthy mindset. Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.